Good afternoon, BodyWell.
Hello.
Right. Yeah. Tonight we have a wonderful masterclass, one of my very favorites, right? About optimizing results, creating rhythm and optimizing results. And for those of you who haven't tuned in previously, we may have covered some of these concepts with you and when we review your exercises with you and show you how to get the best results from your exercises. And tonight we want to integrate that into the whole process for you so that you can get the best results from the efforts that you're making to improve your health, right? So the three things that you need to do to get the absolute maximum results from the care that you're receiving here at BodyWell. Number one is creating rhythm in your adjustments, right? Number two is creating rhythm in your exercises. And number three is eliminating the things that are holding you back, right? So we want to cover all three of those topics and to make sure that you have a clear understanding of what each of those means. So the first two are creating rhythm in your adjustments and creating rhythm in your exercises. So understanding, well, what is rhythm? What does that mean, right? Is very important. So what is a rhythm? A rhythm is how your body predicts what you're going to do next, right? What the heck does that mean, Dr. Pat? Well, I'll give you a real classic example, right? For the person who wakes up at the same time every day, right? They'll begin to wake up a few minutes before the alarm even goes off, right? And how does that happen? Well, your brain is predicting that you're going to wake up. And so it begins creating the chemistry that's necessary for waking up. And it makes the process of waking up much easier on the body, right? Another classic example of a rhythm is for the person who eats lunch at the same time each day. What they'll notice is that they find they get hungry 15 to 20 minutes. They feel their stomach rumbling before they're going to eat, right? And the truth is, most people are not actually hungry. It's just the body knows that you're going to eat at that time, and it begins preparing the stomach for digesting the food, which makes the process of digesting food easier for the body, right? So a rhythm, again, is how your body predicts what you're going to do next. And so, what we want to do is try to help your body predict when healing is going to be occurring, helping your body predict when you're going to get your adjustments, helping your body predict when you're going to do your exercises. And by doing that, it allows your body and your brain in particular to begin producing the chemistry that's necessary to get the absolute best results from those activities, right? So who wouldn't want to have the best results, right? Do you want to have the best results or subpar? Well, for me, I always want the best results. And so I research, how do I get the best results from doing an exercise? How do I get the best results from getting my adjustment? So how do we create a rhythm? And I'm going to talk about a rhythm that many people would love to have because they struggle with falling to sleep at night. And if you're one of those people who has a hard time getting yourself to fall asleep at night, the reason for that is your brain isn't predicting that it's time to sleep. So, how can you create a rhythm? By creating a ritual just before the activity. Right? What does that mean? If you do the same activity each night, right, before your head hits the pillow, you're doing two, three, four different things, and you do them in the same order, and you do them at the same time each night, your brain then begins to get the idea that, hey, what happens next is I put my head on my pillow, and it's time for me to sleep. And that will allow your brain to begin producing the right chemistry for sleeping before your head hits the pillow. And by doing that, it can help you to get a much more restful night's sleep rather than laying in bed, tossing and turning, right? Now, what should you include in that ritual? Well, things that you shouldn't include, things that you should exclude from that if you're trying to get to sleep, would be watching things on the television, right? In particular, things that would be stressful, like watching the local news. Bad idea if you're wanting to sleep, right? Why? It causes stress in the body, right? In fact, you should be doing things that help the body to feel more relaxed, things that help to lower your stress levels, right? So, for example, listening to music that helps you to feel more relaxed, right? Turning that music on in the 15 minutes before your head hits the pillow. Doing deep breathing exercises to help the muscles of your body be more relaxed, right? Some people say, well, I brush my teeth, and after I brush my teeth, then, oh, do some deep breathing exercises, help the body to be more relaxed. Then do the next activity, right? Whatever that might be for you to help create a relaxed state in your body. Some people will light a candle, right? I'm not going to advocate lighting a candle before going to bed. That could be dangerous, right? So maybe just lighting it temporarily for a couple of minutes to help set the mood, right? But creating an activity one after the next, my activities work for me, right? I have a specific set of music over a 5 minute period that I listen to. I do meditation to quiet my brain. I do deep breathing. I have postural corrective exercises that I do, and that's my routine. And once I finish my postural corrective exercises, I lay down and my head hits the pillow and I'm out like a light, right? My kids laugh. They said, Dad, how is it that you start snoring before your head hits the pillow, right? Well, the reality is my brain knows it's time for me to sleep. And my brain also knows 5 minutes before that alarm goes off that it's time for me to wake up, right? Creating those kinds of rhythms in your body makes the process of going to bed easier on the body, makes the process of waking up easier on the body, and it helps to increase the amount of healing and repair that your body's able to do. Why? When does most of the healing and repair that your body does happen? It happens at night when you're asleep. So, taking away from that, we're going to use the same concepts to create a rhythm associated to your adjustments and to create a rhythm associated to your exercises. Now, with your adjustments, what's most important is to create a predictable time where your body knows it's time to get adjusted, right? So many people have hectic schedules, and I get that. And being able to get in to get your adjustment and being able to get back out, to get to life, back into the stressful world, right? The timings of that may be forced or dictated by other activities that are occurring in your life, right? However, if you want to get the absolute best results from your adjustments, set a time for your adjustments and be consistent with that. Set that schedule and just put it in stone and say, that's when I get my adjustment, right? Why? Because that's your healing time, right? Second, use the time en route to getting your adjustment to create that ritual or routine that gets your body into a relaxed state. Yeah. Why? When you're getting an adjustment or when you're getting deep tissue work done, do you want your body to be like this and stressed, or do you want it to be in a more relaxed state? Well, if you want it to be in that more relaxed state, you want to make sure that you're doing that en route, right? So once you hit the car, you're en route to come get your adjustment. You want to make sure that you're doing the activities that help you to be in a more relaxed state. Right? So rather than shaking your fist at somebody who cuts you off in traffic, right, you're thinking about the corrections that have to occur in your spine, and you're working those postural exercises. Many people have heard us say, get hydrated, right? Do you have to wait until after your treatment to get hydrated? No, you should actually start the process of getting hydrated en route to getting your treatment, en route to getting your adjustment or your deep tissue or your stretching, whatever treatments you're receiving. You want your body to be in the best state as you're getting here, right? So deep breathing, right? Rather than shouting at traffic, focus on your breathing. Focus on your hydrating. Drink some purified water en route, right? Something else, instead of turning the local news on, turn on some relaxing music, right? Make sure you have that set up on your playlist or on your tape recorder if you've got your like me and you got the old cassette tapes, right? I put mine on cassette tapes, right? Showing my age, right? But whatever you have to do to organize the music that you're listening to en route, right? Listen to something that puts you into a more relaxed state, right? Now, other things, right? Hydrating, breathing, posture correction, right? What are you thinking about, right? En route to getting your adjustment. Are you thinking about how cold it is outside? Are you thinking about, oh my gosh, all this traffic, right? Or are you thinking about the correction and seeing your spine moving into a healthier position, seeing the nerve channels, right, that feed your body from your brain, seeing them opening up and the messaging getting through? See, for me, what you're wanting to achieve is a spine in an optimal position where the messages from your brain get through freely to every part of your body so that your body is literally under the control of your brain, right? And if you're visualizing that, right, it's a much more relaxing thought. You can see your body getting healthier, right? Instead of thinking about, oh, that guy cut me off and screaming at them, right? So, now that you've arrived to the office and you're in this relaxed and wonderful, peaceful state, your body is now going to be able to predict what comes next, right? Creating the right chemistry for receiving an adjustment, right? You lay down on the table and guess what? You're just melting into it instead of vibrating from the stress of getting here, right? And guess what? When that happens, getting and receiving an adjustment becomes much more gentle, right? And that gentle adjustment opens up those nerve channels for you so that messaging can be occurring the way that it's designed, right? Now, does that mean now that I've been adjusted, I can run back out and jump into the stressful world? No. This is your healing time, right? You've been adjusted. Focus on that. Take that time while driving back to the world and continue the efforts that you made on the way, right? So listening to relaxing music, focusing on your breathing, continuing to get hydrated. You're taking the time out of your stressful life to focus on your healing. Yeah. Because when you're focused on your healing, I promise you, right, it doesn't just double the effect, it more than triples the effectiveness of the treatment that you're receiving. Right? Now, timing, creating a ritual before it, using that same ritual afterwards, I promise you, when you put those in place, your results get magnified significantly. Your body begins creating the right chemistry to predict your adjustments, to predict the treatment that you're receiving, and it allows the body to heal at a much, much higher rate. Taking those same principles and applying it to the exercises that you do at home, right? Rather than saying, oh, Dr. Pat told me I have to do this exercise. Oh, I hate him, right? Rather than stressing out about having to do a corrective exercise, get your body into the right state, right? Focus on your healing, right? Focus on the rhythm that you're creating. Do it in a rhythm so that you've got the same time consistently, right? The same way that you wake up and you go to bed at the same time, do your exercises consistently and predictably at the same time, creating a 10 to 15 minute ritual before and a 10 to 15 minute ritual after, right? That allows your body to stay in that state of relaxation. And again, you magnify the results that you're going to get, right? And finally, the third leg of the three-legged stool is eliminating the things that are holding you back. Now, I could talk for hours on the things that are holding people back, right? But those are very individual. They're unique to you. And what you need to do is think about what is it that created the interference in your life? And the classic example I give, if a person gets a cut on their finger, do they really need to do much in order for it to heal? And the answer is no, you don't really need to do much. Many people will get cuts and do nothing for them at all. And a few weeks later, they're gone. You can't even see where they got the cut. That's because our body is designed to be self-healing and self-regulating, right? However, if you take that same cut and you rub it on sandpaper every day, when will it heal? And I promise you, the answer is never, because you're rubbing it on sandpaper, it's not going to heal. That sandpaper is what is holding you back. You need to help us identify what's the sandpaper in your life. What is it that is causing whatever you want to heal to not heal, right? And for some people, it's as simple as creating better rhythm in their sleeping to give their body more time in a relaxed state for healing, right? For some people, it's improving their hydration. For others, it's improving their diet and getting a better relationship with the food that they eat. Rather than their food being comfort, using it as the fuel and the building blocks for your body and focusing on quality rather than quantity, right? Others, it may be, some type of toxin that you're ingesting, right? And many people ingest toxins, but they love those toxins, right? We know they're toxic. We know they're not good for our health. And yet we use them to comfort us for one reason or another. And what that might be, the list is, long, right? Some people love their cup of coffee, right? And they drink it all day long. Others love their cup of tea. Some people like energy drinks, right? And energy drinks is the worst of the worst, right? You want to dehydrate your body and toxify your body, go buy some energy drinks, right? They'll give you a buzz for about 15 minutes, but after that, it's nothing but toxins and downhill for your body, right? So other things, repetitive things that you do over and over and over again, right? And wonder, why is it that I'm not healing? I'm doing this same activity again and again, and every time I do it, it causes me pain, but I have to do it. Well, maybe we just need to look at it and revisit, how can you do it in a way that doesn't create the sandpaper? I have one client that works at a desk 8 hours a day, and they're pounding away on their computer and they're suffering with neck pain. They said, well, I can't stop working. I said, you're absolutely right. You can't. But can you modify the way that you are working? Can you raise that monitor up above eye height so you're looking up rather than looking down, right? Can you improve the workstation that you're working from so that it doesn't have this negative effect on your body? And amazingly, as soon as they were able to make that one simple change to their workstation, they began healing much, much faster. The neck pain was virtually gone within a couple of days, right? So the sandpaper that is holding you back, you need to help us identify, what is it, right? And if you need help in figuring out how to fix that, that's why we're here, right? I can't answer that question for everyone because everyone has different sandpaper. But if you ask us, we can help you to come up with a solution of how do you eliminate the things that are holding you back. So that doesn't mean that you're not doing the same activity. It just means you may do it in a different way so that it doesn't have that effect on your health. All right. So again, the three things that you can do to get the best results from your care. Number one is getting your adjustments in rhythm, creating that rhythmic response in your body of healing and relaxation, right? Number two, creating that same rhythm with the exercises that you do to help correct your spine, right? And number three is to ensure that you identify and eliminate the things that are holding your body back from healing, right? I appreciate each and every one of you tuning in with me this evening. I hope that you got something from tonight's conversation, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you for your next adjustment. Have an absolutely beautiful evening, and we will see you next time. Take care.